Yeah. Well, I started off in 2009 to become an entrepreneur. I tried a lot of stuff, also like offline stuff, like starting party event series in Munich or joining a medical device startup. Try to like set up a field website for cost trainers, and basically almost 6 days at the beginning. Then I like, because I had no clue how to start an online business, never did it before. And then I joined another startup which was a little bit more ahead, and basically I got their normal job. And at this startup I learned like my first skills in how to build up an entire company. And after that I started my first own company. It was for a Facebook game where I was selling virtual game goods. So basically bits and bytes and this business like took off after the first month and continued to grow. And I did this for like 1.5 years. In between I also worked as a freelance on some other startups. And basically I went back and forth between working for other bigger startups, mostly to learn something there, but it's also, you have to live off something, and as a freelancer you get the money like instantly, whereas for your own business you have to wait until it's profitable enough. And yeah, on the other side, besides working as freelancer for startups, building my own businesses up, projects like got bigger and bigger over time. And now for like more than 2 years, I've only building my own stuff. I think like one big challenge has always been like back then and also in between again and again, is just like deciding for one idea. Like if you like being focused full-time on the entrepreneurship, I think you get a lot of ideas. Everybody, I think, gets that.
Yes.
Picking one of those ideas and just say, okay, let's go for it and try it out. Sometimes it takes me quite long. It might take half a year or so. So like for half a year, I'm just bouncing back and forth between many ideas without really like doing one of them. And this is, I think, a big mistake. I have been done many times, and this is like still like a big challenge. Just go for a project. And yeah, my current idea, current project, what I'm focusing most of the time on is an online shop where customers can name a star, like a celestial star, after someone. And it's basically a gift which they can give to like a beloved person or to a friend. And this idea was also one of my first ideas, but at the same time I had this idea with a Facebook game, so I decided for the Facebook game idea. And the star idea, basically I offered to friends who were always like telling me, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I just don't have an idea. So I said, okay, take the star idea. And yeah, nobody wanted it. And so like more than a year later or so, when my first business with the Facebook game was just like getting smaller and smaller, or just people started playing different games, I started the star idea myself, and yeah, basically that's what I'm still doing, with some interruptions in between. I'm also working in between for some other companies, but nowadays I'm fully focused on that. The basic star idea I got through a deal on Groupon. Or maybe I first have to say like this whole star naming thing is a very old business model. It exists for like 40 years or something, or 30 years, like way before the internet. And basically in Germany, back then were still, or already, a lot of other entrepreneurs out there who were doing this, offering this service for naming a star. And I saw a deal on Groupon to get to buy a star like for a low price. So I did that and bought a star for my girlfriend back then. And well, she really loved the idea, and I also thought it's quite a cool, like quite a unique idea. But I wasn't really happy with like kind of the product I got delivered. It was just like a very cheap piece of paper, and that was just about it. So I thought, okay, the idea is cool, and also the business model behind it. I just think it can be executed better, and that's basically what I did then. I designed a better website, designed a better product, and try to use my knowledge from in online marketing, which I had gathered from former businesses, to also be better in online marketing than anybody else out there. That's how I turned up to that. And regarding the aha moment, even more than like every time I start a business, I think it's the first sale or so I make, which is kind of a really cool feeling and also aha moment. It's usually you have to work for a couple of weeks or months on your website or on your product and so on, and then you put it live, and then you just like wait until like the first customer buys, and when this first sale come in, and it might be just like 10 euros or so. It's really like a very happy moment then. Very standard, not very fancy stuff. So I use like Google Mail or Google Apps. I use Dropbox, Skype, just like the default notepad on my iPhone, and that's about it. I usually try to keep it simple because I think it just takes too much time to like get to know like some complicated tool. For example, I mean, I could use Evernote or something like that for my notes, but I'm quite happy with just using the default notepad on my iPhone. It does everything that I wanted. So I just stick with the simple things. Well, I'm trying to like be productive. So usually, let's say, I have different like phases. Might be that I'm like being very focused on a project for like 3 months or something like that, where I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done, and then I might just take off 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or something like that. But let's talk about the phases where I'm like really working on a project. Then my typical day looks like I'm getting up very early. It's usually something like 5 and 6 a.m. Like it's basically at sunrise, and then I'm focusing on my most important task for the day. Very often it's the task which I really dislike to do. That's also a good sign. It's probably the correct task to work on. And I work them until like early afternoon, might be like 2 or 3 p.m. or something like that. During this work session in the morning, I'm also making sure that I'm doing some sports for like half an hour, maximum 1 hour, but that's usually like every day. And the afternoon, I usually take off because it's my least productive time there in the afternoon, so I don't even try to be productive there. I rather like go out, have fun, meet up with friends, or come on travel, especially like really seeing the place, going to the beach or so. Because if you're not at home, like being on travel and work from there, if you like work all day, you can be most fantastic places in the world. But if you're just sitting in the hotel or hostel room all day, it's really, you don't get to see all those nice places. And then in the evening, I either go out, just like a bar, restaurant, some partying or so, or I'm getting some further work done if I like to. Also work-wise, what I'm really doing in the evening is my emails. I'm really trying to like not check my emails at all before noon. Like even not on my phone. I cancel all my accounts on the phone and just doing that in the evening and preparing for the next day. Like maybe one thing in general and one thing very specific to my current business. The thing in general, I would try to proceed much faster by just like spending more money on things. I'm trying to make my businesses profitable as soon as possible, and so I'm trying to not waste too much money, which also means I'm doing my stuff myself. But on the other hand, it costs a lot of time. So if I could go back, what I would do differently is really investing more money to progress faster. And in regards to my specific business now, the business where I'm like selling the stars, my learning there is I would like never sell individualized products again. It's like really like a complete pain in the ass. Like everything of the product I'm selling out, it's like manufactured by demand. Everything is completely individual per customer, which leads to like a lot of customer service effort. And you also have the problem if a customer sends back the product, you can't like sell it again to some other customer. So you basically have to trash it. You lose all the money which you like have put into the production and marketing of that. And yeah, I would rather go for like next time I start an e-commerce business, just going for more like standardized product where I can just buy a product in stock, like everything every single item being the same also, and sending those out. The customer knows exactly what they're getting. If they're sending it back, no problem. I send the same product to a different customer. I think it's much less cumbersome. Nothing really specific. It's basically continuously optimizing the business and growing the business. But no real big product in sight for the next months regards to that. Two things. One thing is just do it. As I said like earlier, I don't think too long about your ideas, don't overanalyze it. Just go for an idea, try it out, and after like something between 1 and 3 months, you will see if it's the business, the idea works or not, and then you can still go to the next idea and try the next one. I gave him an example earlier in the interview that I might think between different ideas back and forth for like 6 months. Well, in 6 months, I could start something between like 2 and 6 ideas, could actually try them out, and that would be a much faster way to do it. So tip number 1 is just do it, just go for it. And tip number 2 is be very persistent. You need like a lot of endurance to make a business work. I always also, for example, with my star business for like first 1.5 years or so, it wasn't running very well. So I was like almost like trashed the whole business. I was saying, okay, I'm trying to get rid of it. I was making some money, but it was really not worth the work I was putting in. And now it's been 3 years I'm running the business. Now I'm doing fine. It's running quite well. But yeah, sometimes it just needs a lot of time. A lot of people, I think, give up too early.